Hello everyone, what's going on? This is RO7 here. I'm bringing you Watch Dogs review brought to you by heavenforgamers.com. Delayed and unarguably most expected next-gen game was finally released on May 27th as it was planned. Developed and published by Ubisoft for PS4, Xbox One, PS3, Xbox 360 and of course PC, didn't completely fulfill fans' expectations. You were following a ton of trailers and their walkthroughs during last year, and they promised a lot. They showed not that much, but obviously they made everyone full of hope that most advanced and most alive game will finally be released after next-gen consoles arrived. Chicago presented in a futuristic way with CityOS security, whole city in one computer, perhaps wouldn't be the brightest idea. Cameras, traffic lights, steam pipes and even other objects which can cause explosions, either distraction for enemies or cops, which will chase hell out of you. On first sight, the fact that you can see info about every single person in and outside of the city is interesting indeed, but at the same time it's mostly pointless. Earnings, occupation, job, name is pretty much everything besides small picture of that person which you can see. Some people with mobile devices can be hacked and steal money or get parts for crafting some useful items. Our main protagonist Adrian Pierce, who lost his 6-year-old niece Lena 11 months before game actually starts because of inaccessible hacking mission with his friend Damien, now finds distraction in his multiple smartphone abilities that affects the environment of the city. He can hack into any device to receive information, gain abilities or see through any camera. He can stop trains, raise security barriers and black out the entire city. He can slow down time to shoot, he can direct companions through stealth sequences, and in all this he can call in the help of mobile players if he gets into a wind. Despite karma meter where Adrian can be regular citizen, either protector, he doesn't lose points for abusing traffic lights and making huge accidents, either blowing steam pipes, causing massive explosions, and at the end, neither by hacking other bank accounts and stealing money. In fact, only by killing citizens or police cops directly, you can lose points, which is rather comic, at least to say. The storyline as itself is quite interesting, but also in one hand predictable. You can't choose outcome of missions and sendings are linear, but you can most of the time pick between approaches. You can go stealth by hacking from camera to camera, exploring mission area and then try to infiltrate everything and reach out your checkpoint. Stealth approach is rather simple and most of the time repetitive, since it all comes from cover to cover with some quick interruption on enemies, either distraction. If you choose Rambo approach, then you will most likely have explodable objects in area, which can help you to start open fire by getting kill or even couple of them and make whole action much easier. Shooting in this game is not challenging at all. Me personally went for rush and kill everyone approach and it wasn't hard at all. In fact, you're getting even more points by killing all those innocent guards instead being a ghost, especially if you get clear headshots. Auto aim, which will help you, unfortunately, is present and seems that it cannot be turned off. While you're in cover, you can aim at enemies and then just zoom and kill without being hurt, at least not much as it should be. And you will most of the time have more than plenty of ammunition, so killing will not be a problem. Hacking on the other side is everything about one button. If you hold button for 2 seconds, you will disrupt traffic lights, when suddenly all cars will get boosts and try to make collision in the middle of intersection for no reason whatsoever, even if everyone are waiting for green light. Or perhaps make bridge go up, blow some steam pipes and create holes all over the city and couple more things. Some parts of the city will not provide you access to all those features, so you will need to find CityOS centers, hack them and then unlock them, but most of the time you will be hacking them as part of main story. On the other side, when you try to hack most of the time mission objectives, cameras or security, you will need to use your brain and make informations to go from point to another in multiple ways, something which reminds of Deus Ex Human Revolution hacking system. Police or enemy chases are something most disappointing in this title with potential like this. Despite open world, a lot of weapons and many hacking opportunities, once when you get someone on you, you need to drive as fast as you can as it's expected, right? But instead escaping outside of the city or main streets, you should be aiming for traffic lights, either steam pipes, including security barriers. As long as you have your chaser behind, you will get notification to press hacking button at one point when unit is on one of those hackable objects, and you will always blow him up when you will actually see slow motion sequence and most likely lose control over your car, since you will be forced to watch that particular moment. So drive fast, press hack, and you're good to go. Unfortunately, cars are not the only vehicles, at least not for cops. There are choppers, or I should say chopper. Through most of the chases you will get only one chopper above you, and if you skilled enough points into hackable tree, you will be able to jam helicopter for 15 or even 30 seconds, while in that time it will not be able to spot you either move, and it's going to be almost impossible to aim on helicopter without going outside of the car. If you're on bike, when one of them approach you, you can pray that one of the cars are nearby. Since once when helicopter is above you, you will be shooted by single bullet every 10 seconds average. Cars can last longer due to protection, but on bike it's going to be hard to miss you. You can't use your weapons while you are driving. Yes, you heard me well. It's not 1st April, I'm serious here. You can't. With that being said, you know what to expect from that aspect of the game so far. There are side missions and collectibles, of course, collecting coins, as in Super Mario, or driving demon car with which you need to run over people who have fire on their head, and getting souls by killing them is one way of getting experience and skill points. Some side missions will be available on map pretty much constantly, while some will appear randomly, or only if you scan some people on streets and find more info about possible crimes which you can stop and become protector of the city, while no matter what you do, everyone will call you vigilante at the end of the game. Going through main story without even scratching other missions will get you enough experience and skill points to max out all your skills until end. There are combat, hacking, driving and combat skill trees, and you will need to choose your priorities, but in my personal opinion, hacking and perhaps for skill in driving, which will allow you stealing cars without alarms or breaking windows, is more than enough. Main story contains 5 acts, when every of those have their own part of the story. You can't skip missions or choose where to go, since you will have only one active main story mission after every completed, when his sister Nikki pleads with him to stop his pursuit on their attacker, explaining that he is risking the safety of his remaining family. Aiden makes a promise he doesn't ultimately keep, which is ultimately end point of this story, with exceptions that you will find couple surprises, good and bad both, at some points. Performances on PC are quite disappointing as well. You can get 50 till 60 stable FPS, but graphics doesn't really justify the system requirements. Face impressions from Lano era are still untouchable, while raining and nighttime will be most enjoyable times, since all reflections details will be most visible then. Sometimes you will wonder, are you the only one who hope for rain and perhaps night all the time? Simply, over past year, marketing did what it used to do. Anticipation and high hopes were present, but what we got in final game is much less than what we announced, or at least they just tricked us by explaining some simple procedures in couple dozen videos. Potential is there, open world as well, but poor chases, no weapons while driving, or not even flying vehicles, really simplistic hacking system and high system requirements despite not so satisfying graphics are enough to write off this title from contenders for best game of the year. For more information and my personal thoughts during this game, you can go and check out completed walkthrough with live commentary on heavenforgamers.com or YouTube channel youtube.com/dsro7mm. Thank you for watching guys, and stay tuned for more gaming videos.